What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Mr. E-Boss of the Southside Bosses, coming to y'all live for the first time in a couple of weeks. It's been a minute, man. I ain't been on here in a long time, but you know how we do it on Talking But Ain't Saying Nothing, where we bring y'all some of the best topics and talk about it. Cause man, you know, we be saying something around here, and we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot that's going on, and right now we're gonna go ahead and get it started. We actually got 3 topics we're gonna be talking about today. We're talking about the Japanese government quitting. We're going to also talk about the possible U.S. Civil War. And we also going to be talking about Breonna Taylor getting some justice, some kind of justice. It ain't a lot, but it's going to be something around here. You heard me. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, turn up, and zone out. We're going to play a little bit of music after a word from one of our sponsors, but we first want to ask you to go ahead and hit that follow button, that like button, that subscribe button, and go ahead and share us to all your family and friends. You can find us on your favorite streaming service, whether it be Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Amazon MP3, and more. So make sure y'all go ahead and tune in, turn up, and zone out. In here, we're going to get it going right now with You Can Do It by your boy, Mr. E, here on BOSS Radio, baby. You know what it is.
BOSS Radio. Have you ever seen someone do something so outrageous that you can't help but think? This stupid crazy situations happen all the time, and people get into situationships on a regular. So, what would you do if you were in their place? Check out our podcast as we discuss just that on What Would You Do podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all your other favorite streaming services. Make sure to search hashtag What Would You Do podcast.
Negra Beats.
Scorp Beats.
Don't talk to him.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it. You can do it. Don't play no games with them. You can do it. Yeah, listen. You can do it. You can do it. If it's wrong, then make it right. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
I see what it means to be stuck at the bottom. How the bit dropped in the cage with travesty hit it, and everybody just said drop 'em. I've been buried alive, left to suffer to die, but I swear to you, I never gave up. Niggas squirming on the ground, tell them stay down, but I found a way up. Ever since my mom passed, I wandered throughout the wilderness, and she's your daily missus. I never get the miss, never got used to the awkwardness. I'm feeling deep down in my chest. Use it as a passenger drive to get up on the grind and try to make it out the gutter. Born in the dough, so all I ever had was the everlasting struggle till I get a come up. And I can't stop them. My oldest Naciel needs a house on 100 acres real quick. Joaquin needs his own business that will have him on all 7 continents making deal pics. Only thing broke would be the generational curse. I won't leave my children living off worse. When cowards got to punch my ticket, then they got a brother leaving this right here in the hearse.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it. You can do it. Don't play no games with them. You can do it. Yeah, listen. You can do it. You can do it. If it's wrong, then make it right. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
Fell from the top real hard, put in my work, you could call me Hustle God. Charged up like a cell phone, now it's on, so I'm guaranteed to make it to the top. Fell bad, let the fade blow away, took the rid of stayed in with a bulldozer, made a new way. When you focus on success, it's the best desire when it comes to your different mind states. Wait, patience was the key when it all fell down, had to understand that it wasn't in the plan. Goddamn, many hypocrite, smiling as I fail, hoping that I break when I land. I couldn't see what I had was a pocket full of trash, as all the cowards that claimed to be my friend. Really hung around for the joy, never down for the boy, never wasn't even my fan. Man, I get a do-over, leave their ass when I'm sober. Gotta focus on the spirit, getting a little colder. Everything I do is soda from the flow up, had to own up and roll like a boulder. True soldier, little boss my frame, no way I'ma play, stop acting like you lame. I'm out of my business, doing me short, it's outside riding, staying in my lane. Baby.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it. You can do it. Don't play no games with you. Can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Listen. You can do it. Nobody tell you how to live. You can do it. If it's wrong, then make it right. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. You can do it.
BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio.
BOSS Radio, Southside Bosses, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts.
As Mr. Flavor, I am proud to bring to you Mr. E's Music Maestro.
What's good, everybody? What's good? This your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses, and you know we be keeping putting it down here on BOSS Radio, talking but ain't saying nothing podcast, but we bring y'all some of these hot topics and we break them down for y'all, man. I'm talking about we break them down in a hilarious way. Man, you know we just sitting here right now. I got my little, we got Beerus in my lap, a little terrier mixed with a rabbit. She wasn't feeling too good, so I got her chilling in my lap right now. So if you hear her bark, I'm going to pop her in the nostril and tell her to shut up. But she know I love her. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be going hard, man. And, you know, I just want to say one thing, man, that it's going to be a wonderful show for y'all, man. We got some great topics right now. We're going to start this off by talking about how the Japanese government quit a couple of days ago. Yes, they quit. So before we get into that, I just want to remind you again to go ahead and share it to your family and friends, and also go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow us on your favorite streaming service. We are on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Amazon MP3, and we are even on YouTube up for the Southside Bosses, so go ahead and look for us. We are there. We are here for you, and if you could just support us by hitting them little subscribe buttons, hitting that little like button, hit that little follow button, and hit that share button after you hit those buttons, and let the whole social media presence know that we are here, baby. We doing it, and we're going to be doing it for you always. But yeah, the Japanese government quit. This was reported by Sputnik, and it was quoting a Kyoto news agency report. They had a special meeting of the cabinet that started at 11:30 a.m. local time, and the new Japanese government, led by the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, is expected to be announced soon. Now, originally the government reshuffle was supposed to be carried out in early September, but now, due to the intention of accelerate the promotion of its economic concept of new capitalism, the need to take action due to rising food and fuel prices, and in order to prepare in advance for the session of Parliament, the prime minister decided to speed up the reshuffle process of the government. Now, one thing I do know is that it doesn't just happen like that overnight. And for them to speed it up shows that there is something else in the process of happening here. Now, the reason why I want to bring that up is because of the simple fact that a few days ago, I had just got through watching. A lot of y'all know that I watch. That I am a very my teacher is Taj Tariq Bey, and Taj Tariq came out with a show on Reawakening Minds that actually blew my mind, because it was like he actually called for this, because the name of this show, I'm putting a link up in just a moment, but it's called All Traditional Institutions Are Now Obsolete. And what he was saying, getting at, it was pretty much that these companies or these corporations that are masking as what can I say? What can I say? They're masking as nations. They're masking as countries. They're masking as governments. These corporations are actually falling. They're failing. And in that process, people are about to start panicking because of the simple fact that, well, if this is the only thing that they know that the government works. So if the government don't work, then the government is going to be placing some very harsh strains on what we got going on here. People know that they can expect their job to pay them because there's a government that makes sure that it pays them. The government also makes sure that the running water hits your faucet every day. They also make sure that you get electricity. They also make sure that you get gas for your vehicle. Now, if these governments are falling, then there's going to be a whole bunch of hectic decisions being made by individuals who have never had any process or any practice being sovereign. Y'all don't even know how to be sovereign. And I ain't saying you got to be a sovereign citizen and nothing like that. That is an oxymoron. Stop saying that stupid shit. You can't be sovereign and a citizen. Sovereign means you're in control of your own capacity. And to be a citizen means that you are a part of collective and y'all control it together. So you got to pick a struggle. But anyways, we have all of these people out here that claim they know how to get off the grid and they know how to live this. Or do you really know? Because if these corporations / governments do collapse, then you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. Now, one thing I will say is that it's not that going that far yet with Japan, because it seems like this new prime minister wants to implement a new capitalism, and this new capitalism is going to be the new government, because you already know capitalism is a form of government. So the new capitalism will be a whole new. So what is this new capitalism? Well, I've been looking into this and I haven't really seen much about it, but I can tell you this: capitalism hasn't really done much for us, and especially for people of color. Especially of people for people of color, because the simple fact that capitalism was actually put in place in order to keep the indigenous person down, because the people who created it had all the rules, they had all the pieces to the puzzle, they had all the game pieces. So we had to borrow their game pieces, we had to borrow their rules, and we didn't even get all the rules. That's the messed up part. We're just now in 2022 learning that we have to learn the whole game. We didn't even learn the game yet, to the point where we just now got a few years ago 2 black-owned businesses. Black-owned banks that are $1 billion powerhouse now. Now we're talking about this versus banks that are $1 trillion powerhouses, and they have a reputation behind them. But you don't hear people talk about this black-owned bank. Why is that? Well, because obviously we don't have the necessary tools in order to be able to establish a system that works for us. We keep wanting to be implemented into a system already and not realizing that system isn't created to last. This is what King said when he said that I have integrated my people into a burning house. this capitalist system of the United States or these Western countries are not deemed to last forever. One thing you can say, even if you do not believe in the Bible, is the Bible said that man-made corporations, man-made governments, the way that man do it, their kingdoms will not last. They will not last. So if they won't last, that means there got to be something that comes up after that. And right now it looks like Japan, who is an ally to the Western nations, will be trying it with this new capitalism. And Japan is the only example of a collective capitalism in practical form. This it stems from the Japan's economic and social restructuring after World War I. You know, they keep a system where everybody is it's a socialist country, while at the same time being a independent go for yours kind of country. You can still rise in the ranks. You can still build your own and come up, but at the same time, you are going to help out with society. This is why they have hardly had a murder. They had one murder this year, and it was the assassination of a prime minister. And the reason why is because they got rid of guns. Nobody's allowed to have a gun there. You want a gun? What you hunting? Okay, well, you're going to get this little one shooter that you have to reload after every shot, because you are not going to kill anyone here. And if you miss, guess what? We're going to get you before you reload, buddy. But I'm just saying, it's just a lot to think about when it comes to that how do we consider that these corporations are going, or these governments will continue to uphold? They're not going to continue to uphold. They're not going to continue to continue to make policies which puts the disenfranchises the indigenous person. And by us thinking that these systems are going to last, we're contributing to these systems with our taxpayers. I was just saying in a TikTok post the other day how black people actually pay police to kill black people. I mean, you pay. How many times have we said that I pay the taxes that pay you? That means I pay you. And that means that I can fire you. I just don't know how, because I don't have all the rules to the game. But once I figure it out, I am going to play the game right. So instead of us actually trying to, beat them at their own game without learning the rules to it, let's learn the rules to it. Because we obviously see that the Black Congressional Caucus is not going to do anything for us. I haven't even heard anything about them in years now. Since the Black Lives Matter first hit, it sounded like COVID just shut them the complete up. Now, I hope they shut up because they're working behind the scenes to get some shit done. But I really hope they didn't shut up because simple fact they was told to shut up, and they're like, yeah, massa. Yeah, sure, massa. Whatever you want, massa. Why that boy, why that nigga there on that hat? You feel me? You have to understand that this playing these people games, this is what gets us into the situation that we in right now. Recession is not meant to hurt them. Recession is meant to keep us down, make us rely on them more. That's why it happens every 100 years or so. It's to keep us to be like, okay, well, the government going to have to go in and do this. This is why they put that nigga in the office during the last recession. They're like, okay, we're going to let this black man, because what we need to do now is we need to get them to start trying to come together, because if they come together, maybe they'll want to be Americans. And if they want to be Americans, then we can save the United States from defaulting. No, that's not how that's going to work. Karma is coming back to get hers. Karma is coming back to get hers. So, with that being said, I expect you to give karma what's hers when it's time. Mother Nature is about to actually end this fiasco that we have started here, because, Mother Nature is tired of taking a beating for you all. Mother is tired of it. So, when she's tired, she's going to put her foot down, and you're going to feel the effects of that punishment. Trust me. Trust me. You will feel the effects of that punishment. Man. cold. Man, but speaking of Mother Nature and Mother getting what's hers, it seems like Breonna Taylor is about to get some justice, so we're going to talk about that a little later on. Y'all make sure y'all tune in for that as well. But when we come back, I want to talk about the civil war that's supposed to be popping off in the United States. Y'all ain't heard about that yet? If you ain't heard about that, man, y'all make sure y'all tune in, turn up his own now. Like I said, find us on your favorite streaming service so you can go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe to us on there. You can find us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon MP3, Deezer, YouTube, and more. All you got to do is look up Talking But Ain't Saying Nothing on BOSS Radio, baby. You know what it is. Share us to your family and friends. After a word from one of our sponsors and a little bit of music, we're going to go ahead and get it going with that U.S. Civil War. You already know.
BOSS Radio.
Yo, man. They've been trying very, very hard to keep me out of this game. I just got one question. What you afraid of?
I think we're gonna be friends.
Hardly. You niggas everybody just bored to the party. Standing outside in the cold rain, looking through the window, see you turn it up like car keys. So low with the mind frame, but I came with my game, cause ain't a damn thing gon' change. Stayed in my lane, fry label pace, sippin' Dre, saying to myself what they is gon' change. So I focus on the game plan, to put them all on the knees like they about to say amen. Gotta cry like Rayman, ain't a strange man, all I wanted was the screens for the bandstand. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you'll be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory.
The clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the
We're gonna
glory.
be friends.
Remember that little scroll talking about what he's gonna do to obtain success. He was 10 toes down, made progress, while the congregation hated like Congress. I can't say I have a status, but Nipsey brought the hustle back, so now the bosses got this. We about the block back, can't stop that for the suburbs all the way to the projects. No longer treated like objects, tossed to the side, we glide, no matter with the weather. I remember living hard, so I have to stay fly, so baby, you fucking with a treasure. This ain't like a scary movie, the ending might just be a little bit gory. Nothing else is gonna stand in between me and glory.
We're gonna be friends.
the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the
We're gonna
glory.
be friends.
My mom told me not to ever let these cowards play me. You lose it all in the blink of an eye. So true while they pointing at the white man, they planted on my back while holding a big knife. Now they're gonna need a crossbow, cause I need 50 feet before I take a seat. Back to the wall, no room for slipping. Let me see it all when it comes to take a G. There's no fakery, the money come fast like a sale at the trap bakery. You could be kidding me, I'm still here to sweet lick like you some kind of candy man. This is for the time I spent. I know that baby out there is checking for me. I guarantee it's not me, but the glory.
We're gonna be friends.
the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly, the clouds have opened up, and I've been seen in all of my glory. Suddenly,
So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the glory. So I aim to get the stacks to the ceiling. When you hear this, you be feeling my story. I used to only want the money, but now I'm coming for the
We're gonna
glory.
be friends.
Feel the best you and save with any of our skincare sets. With either soap and oil or soap and butter or a combination of all three. Heal your skin and keep it with the shine and healthy enough to withstand the sun. No matter what your skin needs, Southside Beauty Care will continue to help you through those rough patches of skin to the smoothness of butter dripping off of your body. Mix and match until you find a skincare regimen that's tailored for your skin and designed to obtain perfection. Come to Southside Beauty Care and see what we have designed specifically for you. This is talking. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, you know we are back, man, and it looks like just because the FBI raided the former president's home in Mar-a-Lago, everybody's talking about a civil war now. I don't know about y'all, but this is hilarious to me. So I'm looking on Twitter and all types, you know what I'm saying? It's not just Twitter either, you know what I'm saying? It's all over Quora and all types of other apps. But people are talking about an attack on Trump is an attack on true American patriotism. One Twitter user wrote on Tuesday that civil war will end up being Biden's government versus American patriots. Another Trump supporter wrote on Tuesday that why would the FBI raid Trump's home but Biden and Clinton's was never touched? Civil war is coming, folks, and it would not be pretty. Kari Lake, the Trump-endorsed Republican candidate for Arizona governor, threatened to invoke the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution over the FBI search if elected in November. So that means don't elect. She's not trying to get elected, y'all. Because this is what she goes on to say on one of her things. She say, this is one of the darkest days in American history, the day our government, originally created by the people, turned against us. This illegitimate, corrupt regime hates America and has weaponized the entirety of the federal government to take down President Donald Trump. Our government is rotten to the core. These tyrants will stop at nothing to silence the patriots who are working hard to save America. This is incredibly horrendous abuse of power. If we accept it, America is dead. We will not accept it. The 10th Amendment can and will save our republic, and the road to stripping the feds of power travels right through Arizona. This is what I meant, y'all, in the last segment when I said that these corporate governments will fall. And I'm not agreeing with her. I'm agreeing with her, but I'm including her in this. All of y'all are corrupt. Because of one, we all know that this is not just America. This is North America. North America is North America. The United States of America is not America. North America and South America and the adjoining islands is America. So for her to keep saying that, destroy America, Canada and Mexico and Cuba will be okay, baby. It will be all right. Don't worry about it. If you want to go ahead and fight that civil war, fight that civil war. But I guarantee you it's going to be from European American against European American, because I guarantee you the rest of us are going to step back, look at you crazy ass white people like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just being real. Just come on now. Because I am not for to sit here and listen to y'all bitchy complain about shit that ain't even yours. This ain't even your land. And y'all bitching and complaining about it, talking about some true American patriotism. You killed off the true American patriots when you first got here. I'm sorry, I'm just calling it what you taught us in history class. Anyways, back to this. You want to say it's not the first time that Trump supporters even said something about a civil war. You know what I'm saying? We're still the United States citizens are still bitterly divided by politics. The political scientists have warned the public for months that this could happen. So all we're doing is going to feed into the narrative. I'm telling y'all, look, I'm going to tell you like this. Donald Trump got set up from the jump. And I'm not sitting here trying to play devil's advocate and have his back and say I'm pro-Trump. I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not pro-Biden. I don't give a fuck about neither one of them. But I'm going to tell y'all right here what happened. They knew that you wasn't going to vote Biden in, but they needed Biden to be president. Why did they need Biden to be president? Because of his son. We already see what's coming out now. That is, I hate to sound like Trump during his election period, but yeah. He was kind of right on that with y'all. But anyways, they told him everything. The Democrats made sure he knew everything about what was going on. They told him about COVID before COVID got here. They told, because we already know they was getting prepared for it. We knew this. Obama had that shit prepared. He had us set up for just in case an airborne virus hit us. And a couple of years later, it hit us. Come on, man. You ain't fit sit here and tell me that wasn't planned. But anyways, we had this all set up. So, but they told him. So he went through and said, you know what? Screw this. I don't trust them because they're doing some devilish shit. So let me go in and fuck it all up. And he did. And we paid the price for it because he's a fucking idiot. He didn't know how to go. They was counting on him to be an idiot. They was counting on him to be an idiot. Think about it. Most of his supporters are idiots. And there's a few of them out there that actually understand that he's being attacked, and they kind of not feel bad for him, but they feel like that. Yeah, well, if he's being attacked, then maybe he is telling the truth. He's halfway telling y'all the truth. He don't even know what the full truth is. All I'm saying is that they told him just enough for him to set himself up. They gave him some rope, and he hung himself. Now we got the idiots out there talking about a civil war when it is going to be another European American war versus another European American. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not going to be a damn civil war. So stop saying that. Now, one thing I can say is that it will possibly be another January 6th. And I am banking on it because I am going to dedicate a whole 2 or 3 shows to that. We got to talk about that because I believe that it's gonna go popping like it's supposed to pop it or like over red and pocker. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too much going on right now to where you should see that the karma is actually catching up now. The karma is catching up. First, we had all of these countries that's going bankrupt right now. These countries are going bankrupt because these European Americans are going to have somewhere to flee to whenever they leave here. Because I'm telling you, the bankers are going to come and get everything. And when they try to come and get everything, is going to collapse because that's just what is going to happen. When everybody leaves and translate and sells all their US dollars, and nobody's using US dollars anymore, then there will be no US dollars. The US dollar will tank. This is why I've been telling y'all for years, get your gold up. Get your silver up. I've been telling y'all this. It's time to start getting your gold and silver up. Because that is going to soon be the only currency, according to the United States Constitution, that will be allowed. Think about it. The only reason the dollar exists is because we believe in it. We stop believing in it, it won't exist no more. It'll be just a piece of cotton. Because I'm tired of y'all saying it's paper. But for real, you have to understand how these economic systems work. And think about it. Once it's off of the gold standard, once it's back on the gold standard, inflation doesn't exist anymore. Gold is used to as a safe haven to hedge against inflation, to protect your money. When inflation goes up, the value of gold goes up. It's not like the dollar. The dollar goes down whenever inflation goes up. So make sure y'all understand that it's finna get really, really rough out here. Hey, and it may be another civil war. But I do know one thing. Mother Nature is tired. She's tired. And she's finna come and get all the justice for all the people who did not get justice before. Emmett Till didn't get no justice. They let that lady go. Guess what? Mother Nature got her. Her bloodline probably would cease to exist after a while. That's how it works. That means she can't come back. No, she can't. She can't come back ever. She'll be stuck in the plane of nothingness. Yes, she will. For real, for real. Alrighty, but y'all already know what it is, man. I just want to go ahead and tell y'all to go ahead and follow us once more. Follow, like, and subscribe on your favorite streaming service, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes. You already know YouTube more, man. And when we come back, we're going to definitely get into some more. I gotta cover this because see, a lot of y'all don't know. Man, y'all, if y'all knew better, y'all do better. But I told y'all Breonna was going to get her justice, and we are going to make sure that she gets her justice, because it just has to happen that way. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about how Breonna Taylor is going to get that justice. So make sure you share us to your family, friends, so they can go ahead and get in on this too. I bet they want to know what's going on. This is Enemy Scared by Street Knowledge Rhythm on BOSS Radio.
BOSS, Southside Boss
Why them want my life for worse? Me learn to load the gun before me learn to buy the verse. Them think me dead, me skill, me skip the grave and sight the earth. Go forward, me not try reverse. And I live time reverse. Me woulda live this same life, growing up without a fuck it, yo, me make it out ya. Mummy say yes, me soldier. As tears full of rice because me make you prouder. Me a go make you stinking rich till them can't take the order. Them want to see me drop me guard so every step me sober. Squad them me not take pull over. Come me no left the rogue. Them a go witness man rise. Just ask Jehovah. Dance and promo. Yeah. Tell you we go make it. Success that make me enemy scared. Circus smile, link large. No sweat and only paper. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Yeah. Success to make me enemy scared. Circus smile, link large. No sweat and we live up it. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Them want to see we water down. Them strength me never ask for none. Crazy dollars, crazy hammers, so they can't run. The weed I light, me feel the vibe, don't get a flash of rum. Fuck them girl, she left her heart with me, she left her jaws a gum. Boss life, still I get used to this fast life. Back in the day, she used to pass like you alright. Strap down, when the cash come, yo me nah lie. So me never give up, hold the faith and go and try. Success to make me enemy scared. Circus smile, link large. No sweat and only paper. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Success to make me enemy scared. Circus man, link large. No sweat and only paper. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Been through the roughest times, why them want my life to worse? Me learn to load the gun before me learn to buy the verse. Them think me dead, me skill, me skip the grave and sight the earth. Go forward, me not try reverse. And I live time reverse. Me woulda live this same life, growing up without a fuck it, yo, me make it out ya. Mummy say yes, me soldier. As tears full of rice because me make you prouder. Me a go make you stinking rich till them can't take the order. Them want to see me drop me guard so every step me sober. Squad them me not take pull over. Come me no left the rogue. Them a go witness man rise. Just ask Jehovah. Ask Jehovah. Yeah. Success to make me enemy scared. Circus smile, link large. No sweat and only paper. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Yeah. Success to make me enemy scared. Circus man, link large. No sweat and only paper. Fight the fight, now we in charge. Yeah.
BOSS Radio, Southside Bosses, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts. Oh yeah, and we are back. If y'all ain't already been keeping up, man, then y'all probably don't know that last week 4 officers was charged by the Department of Justice in connection with the killing of Taylor. 3 of the officers who was part of the small team whose investigation led police to Taylor's address were charged with conspiracy for allegedly falsifying information included in the affidavit used to obtain a legal search warrant. The new revelation raises further questions about the investigative team. Now, I want to be clear. No one has been charged for the murder of Breonna Taylor yet. Now, this could be moving forward towards that, because this, to me, shows a lot about negligence. Not only negligence, but also how black people have been saying for decades that the police just set them up. We already know that there has been people that are in prison that have been in prison who have been found to be innocent years later and was released after they lost a whole lifetime. But it also seems like that black people just never had a chance. Never had a chance. Think of it. Breonna Taylor, woman, just living her life, not committing any felonies, not even committing any misdemeanors, not even involved in any criminal activity, was shot at 30 times because the police got some wrong information, which we now find out they illegally created. They falsified this information, and that lie led to the death of Breonna Taylor. And I mean, that's right now what seems to be the actual facts of the case. And they had an email, a member of the LMPD's Real-Time Crime Center, which assists the department with surveillance and intelligence gathering, writes that they are providing a workup internal speak for the cursory intel file on Walker in response to a request made over the phone by Detective Wesley Barton. Now, they said that they didn't know that Walker would be at that apartment, but it turns out they actually did know that he was at the apartment. And they even had, they found an email that is dated March 11, 2020 at 4:23 p.m. that was sent to the Barton and Wesley A. Barton, which was obviously the detective that was investigating this, from the RTCC. In the subject line, it completely says Kenneth Walker III workup. In it says, Detective Barton, per our phone conversation, I have attached a workup on Kenneth Walker III that was completed on June 21st, 2019 for 2nd Division. This means that they already knew about this dude. So, if on the night that Breonna Taylor was killed, they was targeting 5 addresses, get this, they found that one completely different address, they found the person who they was looking for, Jamarcus Glover. But yet they still felt like they needed to raid Breonna Taylor's house. So with these officers being this is just broad, blatant, caught red-handed evidence that the police have always broken the law in order to push their policies. Now, they go on to say that for someone from that unit to be requesting information on him the day before tells me that they knew he would be around or likely be around, the source who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retribution told Vice News in 2020. That was in 2020 that they knew about this. Now, it's unclear whether the team that executed the raid misrepresented the information that was relayed to them before the police operation, or if the information simply wasn't shared with them before they did. But as Vice News reported in 2020, there's another peculiarity that raises further questions about Barton's knowledge of Walker prior to the raid. According to LMPD's standard operating procedures, officers have to assess the risk associated with serving any search warrant before it's executed, a procedure which includes filling out a scorecard or matrix. This risk matrix forms are broken into 4 categories: location factors, weapons factors, criminal history, and general risk factors. Within each category, specific line items are given in numerical values such as multiple suspects, which is 5, assault weapons, 28, prior assault on police charge, 10, or gang association, 5. Once the relevant boxes have been checked, their collective value is added up to determine whether or not SWAT needs to be involved, either in executing the search warrant or in consultation prior to deployment. Nah. So, as you can see, they actually they had to do their homework and knew that he was there. Because it says, according to the risk matrix associated with Taylor's addresses, detectives indicated that they expected other people to be at her apartment by including additional persons on site. They didn't, however, select multiple suspects, which would have shown they thought other people named on the warrant might be there. The matrix also includes the potential presence of a handgun as a risk factor. Taylor didn't own firearms, but Walker, as indicated in the file produced for Barton, was a licensed firearm owner, meaning they knew all of this before going to that house. So maybe it was personal. Maybe they did want to get at Walker, and maybe he was an innocent, not an innocent bystander, but maybe he was the actual target of not even investigation, of probably a hit. How do we know these police wasn't paid off? We know they committed some crime now. It's not too far off to say they wasn't paid off to commit hits. That would be the perfect cover. I mean, who would expect the police to be going around doing hits besides black people? Welcome to our reality. Welcome to the reality of people who are melanated in the United States. Now, in an interview conducted on November 25th, 2020, Barton told investigators that he filled out the matrix to reflect the potential presence of Taylor, whom his team did not consider a suspect, and Glover, the main target, whom they did. It's difficult to reconcile Barton's explanation with the matrices associated with the 4 other addresses targeted on March 13th, all of which listed Glover as a suspect and scored much higher, especially considering that on Taylor's own, the only 3 risk factors indicated on the form appeared to line up with what Barton would have known about Walker from the file he requested and received. So again, this was he really looking for Walker or Mr. Glover? Because it sounds like this is the only address that had gunfire and somebody lost their life. And it just so happens to be the innocent address. So maybe this is a little, maybe there's something we're going to have to look more because y'all know how I am. I'm going to stay on this Breonna Taylor. I'm the one that brought y'all the transcripts from the grand jury that decided not to indict the officers in the first place. And how I'm the one that showed you how that punk ass fucking state attorney attorney general, whoever the fuck he was, decided not to even push for charges for murder. Didn't even push for the murder charge. He gave them charges that he knew they would be. But look at him now. I say whoever this dude is need to be politically crucified. Matter of fact, I know his name. Give me a minute. I know his name. Because we had a field day with this fool because he's a skinfolk, but he ain't no kinfolk. He ain't no kinfolk. What's this dude name? Current and former Louisville, Kentucky, not Merrick Garland. That was damn Daniel Cameron. That's what his name. And he's facing new scrutiny. Hold on, we gonna read this one. Because apparently he's facing new scrutiny too. Man, I know about this. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what karma gets you. This is exactly what karma gets you. Alright, it goes on to say that when the Department of Justice announced federal charges on Thursday against 4 Louisville cops for the connection to the March 2020 shooting death of Breonna Taylor, the backlash against Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron was instantaneous. Why didn't Cameron, the special prosecutor for the case, bring similar charges at the state level when he had the chance? The justice delayed is justice denied, but it's never too late to do the right thing, tweeted U.S. Representative John Yarmouth, a Louisville Democrat. Despite Daniel Cameron's best efforts, accountability is finally coming to those responsible for Breonna Taylor's death. It's about damn time. No, it's about damn time, but you ain't finna let this motherfucker off the hook so he can do this again with a less publicized case. We're going to be so caught up with Breonna Taylor's case. There's going to be people who, like Kendrick, I forgot his last name. I think it is Kendrick Lamar, not the rapper, but it's Kendrick Lamar out of Kentucky who's also fighting. You can go into True Heritage, find the True Heritage group, you'll find him. And he's also going through something similar, but since he doesn't have a big name, then ain't nobody paying attention. They're going to do the same thing. This state attorney is going to do the same thing to him. Now, at the conclusion of his criminal investigation, Cameron's office ultimately only brought charges against one detective, Breonna Hankerson, for allegedly endangering Taylor's neighbors. Now, get this. I don't know if y'all remember my post from I don't know if y'all remember my show from back in the day, but I talked about that too, where they only charged Breonna Hankerson for shooting into the white neighbor's apartment when there was a black neighbor who also had bullets go through his apartment, and they didn't bring up charges for him. Breonna Hankerson is supposed to be charged twice for allegedly endangering Taylor's neighbors, but he wasn't. He was only charged once for the white neighbor. This is when I was trying to tell y'all, it's all about that status. Get out of that United States corporate status, because they are not going to show you any respect. Anyways, Cameron has since thrown his hat into the ring for 2023 Republican national nomination for governor, emerging among the front runners in a crowded field thanks to an early endorsement from former President Donald Trump. He ain't going, if y'all let him be governor, Kentucky, we're going to, you know what? If y'all let Mitch McConnell into the Senate, I believe y'all will let Daniel Cameron into the governor even after this fiasco. Y'all are, and I see it. I can see black people voting for him right now. And I ain't talking about black Republicans either. I can see black people voting for him. I can see it. I know he's a Republican, but I can still see it. He fits the bill. These are the people that you kind of go for. No. Look at Biden. Biden did way worse than this dude. Goddamn sure clamored for him to be vice president and president. But this is what we have to deal with. So now, Daniel Cameron, the man who let the men who murdered Breonna Taylor get away, is pretty much going to be y'all new. Yeah. Y'all got a Democratic governor now, so maybe you won't. But I believe you will. Hell, he didn't even listen to Beyonce. Superstar Beyonce Knowles wrote an open letter to Cameron's office urging him to charge the officers who shot Taylor and the rapper Megan Thee Stallion used her 2020 appearance on Saturday Night Live to lambast his handling of the case. And he still did nothing. I guess Beyonce wasn't as strong. I think she's losing her Bayhive. I think her Bayhive is going away. Anyway, that's the story for another time. Alrighty, but I hope y'all enjoyed this show, man. But for real though, we need to continue to let Kentucky know that if they allow this man to be governor, then yeah, they let us all down. But don't let me down, and go ahead and follow us, like us, and subscribe to us on your favorite streaming service. You'll be able to find us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon MP3, YouTube, Deezer, and more. You can also be able to go ahead and share us onto your favorite streaming, your favorite social media, which is we on Facebook up under BOSS Podcast. We also up under Instagram up under Southside Boss Connection, baby. All you got to do is Google BOSS Radio, baby. We gonna come right on up. It's the Gold and Black, baby. Gold and Black. Y'all already know what it is. This is BOSS Radio.
This is talk. I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, flash up.
Disciple DJ, you can play that big mix.
Flash up. So we pull them.
Bless.
Yeah, flash up.
So we pull them bigger than your wants, bigger than your needs, bigger than your problems, bigger than your diseases, bigger than your hurts, bigger than your pains, bigger than your failures, bigger than your gains, bigger than your ups, bigger than your downs, bigger than them demons, bigger than them clowns, bigger than Satan. Him alone you see where's the crown. So me tell them bills and expense got the bigger than that. My money for rent got the bigger than that. A problem child got the bigger than that. An evil smile got the life on that threat got the bigger than that. A fresh addiction got the bigger than that. Lack of direction got the bigger than that. Ephesians 3:20 says that bigger than your friends, bigger than your enemies, bigger than pretenders. We bigger than your frenemies, bigger than your boss, bigger than your work. So don't come to my don't get this corrupt. Bigger than advancement, bigger than luck, bigger than the henchman, bigger than the Glocky alarm. Gives the blessing when it starts. Satan has to start. Bills and expense got the bigger than that. My money for rent got the bigger than that. A problem child got the bigger than that. An evil smile got the life on that threat got the bigger than that. A fresh addiction got the bigger than that. Lack of direction got the bigger than that. Ephesians 3:20.
Me, nah drink that chunk. If I sin, you know, no can't bring that come. Me no want party if I feel. Our this father closer than a man and his barber. You know that when me want, but you know there is a part of me that's warring against part of me like Spartans. Jesus live in water, make me smart, so me know everything else a dirty water. So me say, me nah drink that chunk. If I sin, you know, no can't bring that come. Me no want partake of it. Next thing me farm and save habits, and then me can't abstain from it. Pop down and get a bad name from it. Sin I want something where contain damage and you can't fix it by putting band-aid on it. Yeah, Satan want to hypnotize me, trick the hyphy, start no soft for the chick beside me. Like say him want me for this me wifey. Outer road look slippery like say it is icy. This me want for know why them off your van strictly tight jeans. I fi ask Jesus fi kick my eyelids and keep beside me. Come swiftly I need you. Lucifer want sift me like wheat, just like Peter. But my Jesus deliver me life like pizza. So the devil can't get to tell nobody outer road. Say him kick with my feet. Come and she wrote temptation and want me fi bite peace and then wash it down with a sip of Ribena. Me nah drink that chunk. If I sin, you know, no can't bring that come. Me no want partake of it. Next thing me farm and save habits, and then me can't abstain from it. Pop down and get a bad name from it. Sin I want something where contain damage and you can't fix it by putting band-aid on it.
Them attackers are calling serious funny, hard money, bad yeah. Disciple DJ, tell them enough changes for the world. Lose the Bible with the wits Breonna Taylor. My youth, forget the Vermano and Kyle's Taylor. Satan out to take your soul. Get him out your bed. Certain artists pretending to have God 100% down, but them have a form of godliness like none. Them attackers are calling serious funny, money, bad girl honey. Sick love the girl stop and say sorry. Them schizophrenic and funny. Them attack who and wife. Realize you don't need every on the radio twice. Cause the Eden got some believing and feeding the youth men them like fries. It's at the sky, chopped up like a prize. On the inside, you're just a fly. Thinking you're wise for you, the 1st of April now becomes the 4th of July. But it's not your culture, you're a vulture to another man's error and blunder. The word of God is a safe place that brings shelter. Many men running before and now we have helter. See God touch, God reach, God feel. Jesus is God, stop and read. You can be a wise man, heed instruction from godly lead. See God touch, God reach, God feel. Jesus is God, stop and read. You can be a wise man, heed instruction from godly lead. What the real Babylon system influencing my virgin ancestry. One of them claim to be saved. Do a gospel album, next song sing about high grade. But him really ain't change. If it in the name of God depart from evil. If it in the name of God stop deceiving. If it in the name of God start believing that every verse that you did split upon for every verse. Yes, you will give account for everything that you did write and sing. And the youth man listen and him did act upon. Life is a wheel like rubbish that burn. Hypocritical spiritual like Amish.com. You don't really care about the social aspect and spiritual life in the gospel of John. You don't really care about the mother that cry. You don't really care about the son that die. All you really care about is stash that high and your car and house and your clothes that fly. But all of that good, rock away. So I refuse to wear, rock away crew. Being Christ got me in a nice state, kinda like New Jersey. Don't wear Sean John from my hip to my feet. I'm born again, I got new jeans. And although the stereo might play, I'm not the stereotype like Iowa. Christ is just for Iowa. He is the boss like hi sir. Jesus Christ is higher.
You should say it and say that we mark for death. Like him don't know Elohim never fail me yet. Watch drag me down in sin cemetery, but in Christ we live ever ready. Never say that we mark for death. Him forget Yahweh never fail me yet. Why keep we down in a sin cemetery, but in Christ we live ever ready. Chapter 1, all glory be unto him who was there even before time stepped in. That's right, never lose, always win. Omni Trinity unto everlasting. Forever he teach my hands to war like an eagle. Over them I will soar. Blood wash through the door. Logos, Rhema, hear the lion roar. Satan say that we mark for death. Like him don't know Elohim never fail we yet. Why drag we down in sin cemetery, but in Christ we live ever ready. Them never say that we mark for death. Him forget Yahweh never fail we yet. Why keep we down in a sin cemetery, but in Christ we live ever ready.
God alone, sit by his throne. God alone, sit by his throne. Reality music, but them I choose to refuse it. God alone, one God, one God. Holy Father, me walk out. Left, right, we go march out. Shine your light till the wicked get dark out. Upright liberty with ya when me talk about. Stay bright, change life, remove all doubt. Forgot me go all out. Yeah, we name I go call out. God by my side so the wicked get stamp out. Meditate upon the word we got camp out. God alone, sit by his throne. God alone, sit by his throne. Reality music, but them I choose to refuse it. God alone, one God, one God.
Disciple DJ, tell them enough. Changes to the world.
BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio.